Well, we're here in Hampton, Georgia, and I'm at the house of Mak Henderson, and Mak and I served together in Vietnam in 1969, and we were in Charlie Company's 2nd Platoon together. And I'm here today to visit with him, and we're going to just talk a little bit about what our service was like in Vietnam and so forth. And one of the things I'd like to ask you right off the bat is, where did you take basic?
Fort Benning, Georgia.
So you were at Benning?
Yes.
And how about AIT?
Fort Ord, California.
No. That's
Yes.
where I was at.
You were?
Yes.
What year were you in basic then?
68.
68. I was there in 68.
Well, for heaven's sake. You know, we could, what, do you remember that, what, were you in Delta, like D4? I remember D4 too.
I don't think I remember Fort Ord. I don't remember the company.
Yeah. Oh, it's a small world.
Yes, it is.
And do you recall when you finished AIT, did you get 11 Bravo at that point?
11 Bravo, yes.
Yeah, so that
yeah.
that's what we were.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And then when did you get into Vietnam?
December 68.
Mm-hmm. And when did you get out?
That first year, December
69.
69.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And then I'm just going to make a note here. You actually came home.
Right.
And then you re-enlisted.
No, I did that in Vietnam. First year I was in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we all had a were you drafted or did you join?
No, I volunteered.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay. So you had a 3-year commitment?
Right.
Okay. So you were there for a year, and then you re-upped in country, and was that like 6 months?
No, I just started 3 years over again.
But you didn't have to stay in Vietnam now?
No, I stayed there, finished that first year tour.
Yes.
Came back to the States for a year.
Okay.
Then went back for another year.
Oh, okay.
And then I got the 6 months early out.
Okay. What did you wind up doing the second tour?
Helicopter mechanic.
Okay. Now this is going to sound funny, but did you ever have any experience like that before?
Well, the first year when I re-enlisted and went into aviation, I started out as a door gunner.
Oh, okay.
Then OJT for crew chief. And so I got the experience helicopter mechanic the first year I was over there.
Yeah.
So when I went back the second year, I went back as a helicopter mechanic.
Okay.
67, what was it? 67 and 20, I believe it
Okay.
was.
And because I don't know what that's about, does that mean kicking the tires and changing the oil? And, I mean, what does a helicopter mechanic do?
When you the crew chief, you're responsible for the aircraft. You in the morning you go out, you do a daily inspections in the morning. When you come in the afternoon, you pull inspection on it in the evening. Every 25 hours, you do an intermediate. You have to do that yourself. That's checking your oil levels and everything, changing filters and everything. And every 100 hours, you'd have to go in the shop. You have to go to the maintenance shop. And that's where they do all the oil changing and all of this, blade changes and stuff.
Were these Hueys?
Yeah,
Okay.
UH-1H Huey.
And then were you hauling troops, or what were you?
Well, we did the first year. We support unit. We did emergency dust off, emergency resupply, troop carriers. We was the one brought your hot meals out there in the evening.
Sure. And what? So was that the 25th?
That was the 25th Aviation. Right, A Company. The famous Lil Bears.
Do you remember Diamond Head?
That's where I got hit at the first time. Diamond one?
That was Diamond Head. That's right. They were supporting us.
Yeah, I was still on the ground with Diamond. The first Diamond we built.
Yes, sure.
That's where I got hit both times that night in Diamond when we had that big fight.
Oh,
You remember when Taylor got killed?
Yeah, of course.
Taylor and Jones?
Sugar Bear.
I was out there. I was out that night,
Okay.
and we wasn't getting hit. The Vietnamese were running by us
Yep,
We
yep,
shot
yep.
off the claymores and everything. Then every time we tried to move, they would hit us with everything they had.
No.
When you went back and did Diamond 2,
Oh, yes.
I was in the air, and we was getting shot at in the air. We had to constantly keep climbing. But you look down, you see those green traces coming up at the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were flying the brigade colonel, battalion colonel.
Yeah.
And so he was calling it from the air. And every time I look out, we were getting traces, so we kept having to get higher and higher down until the little bear was resupplying you and everything. That was me.
Oh, be a son of a gun.
That was me. And we flew, I flew night and day mission.
Oh, I know.
And when you all got in contact, I was out there in it too. I was in the air, but I was still in it.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Now, this is going to sound silly. How do you go from being an infantryman to working on helicopters?
You go old JT.
I mean, they teach, basically, they teach you?
Right. You get on the job training.
I'll be darned.
And Colin wanted to fly. So I think he worked in the hangar 2 or 3 months, something like that. And then he started flying on the Charlie Model. This Charlie Model had 2 door guns.
Exactly. That was the
Right.
shorter.
Yeah, that was the shorter
Yeah.
Huey.
Yeah. Well, that's all I'll tell you. And then,
On the refueling, basically they had different, it was something altogether different in the fuel dump. Because fuel dump and the ammo bunker was right there together.
oh, okay.
And the Cobras would land on the far end where the ammo bunker was to refuel.
And plus, they had to put more rockets in and all that stuff.
And the guys that was working there would help refuel the Cobras, and then with the ammo and the rockets and everything.
Oh, yeah.
They assisted with that.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
But
So,
none of us from A or B Aviation Battalion was out there doing that.
so then you got your 6-month early out
Right,
and you came home.
right.
What did you do then?
I went to work. I had a variety of jobs. The basic one I stayed on was paper mill. I worked there. Then Kaiser called me, and they was paying like $2-3 an hour more.
Okay.
So I went to work for them and worked there 17 years.
Is that like where they made aluminum foil and?
No, we made aluminum cable.
Oh,
The
okay.
big transmission line.
Yes.
Raw electrical cable you see running across.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we
Okay,
manufactured.
okay. And then they put them on those big reels?
Right.
Okay.
That's what we did there.
And then, so did you basically retire from?
No, I retired I went back to work for paper mill in 90, and I went out on disability in 95.
And that was your back, right?
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
If you could reflect back on Vietnam, what are you most proud of about your service there? What are you most proud of about your time in Vietnam?
Being able to help the infantrymen, emergency dust off, emergency resupply. Because like when they in combat, the dust off unit that was attached to the 25th Aviation Division, 25th Infantry Division would not go in when they under fire. They would not dust you off if you're in contact. So it was left up to the pilots would ask us that would we go in. I always said yes because I know how it is laying on that ground.
Well,
And,
and you knew probably there were some Wolfhounds out there.
Right. And so if they needed emergency dust off, emergency resupply, throw it out on one side, put the wounded in on the other side.
What would you tell if you're looking at the camera and you could tell somebody 20 years from now or 30 years from now that might see this, why is serving your country so important? Why is it important to you that other people serve their country and participate in that?
That's a long thing. But main thing, you think about your freedom. And you see what goes on in the communist countries, the third world countries and everything, and you don't want your family growing up like that. So that's and it's just bottom line, freedom.
And freedom isn't free.
Right.
what was the time you were the most scared in Vietnam? I know there was a lot of times we were scared, don't get me wrong, but can you remember where you thought, man, this could be it?
Tell you the truth, I cannot say. Because when things happen, you don't think about it, you just do it. So I really can't think of any,
What, and I'll keep my questions brief, but what, by definition, if we asked you to tell us what a hero is, what does a hero look like to you?
A normal, everyday person. It's hard to explain what a hero is because you look out there, someone need help, you try to help them. You do the best you can. Mm-hmm. And you do things out of reaction you don't think you do. So I can't really give a definition of a hero because all of us was heroes in our own way.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mac, can I just say this? I'm so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
I was proud of you there at the time, and I'm proud of you now because you know what? You came home
Mm-hmm.
and you made a life and you moved forward, and look at you today, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, you and I both know we made it.
Yes, we did.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't thank you enough for you know, being with me
Right.
in Vietnam. So, buddy, I don't know what else to
I'm
say.
glad to see you again.
Yeah, I just don't know what else to say. I just, you know that, you know, I've thought about the guys forever. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think about them all the time.
Yeah.
I even think about one of our pilots, Mr. Drake. He only had like maybe 14 days left in country. There was a firefight that night, and he was flying night missions. And the Cobra pilots, the gunship pilots, said they had told, you know, the aircraft to get out of the area because they had incoming artillery coming in. Apparently, I don't know what happened, but they got hit.
Oh.
They got hit with artillery round, and we lost that whole crew. And that was sad.
That's devastating.
That was sad. And they wanted volunteers to go out and you know, keep flares like when the what was it, Snoopy?
Yes.
When they went to refuel, then they wanted us to come out and throw those large flares.
And the helicopters.
Yeah, like Snoopy was doing.
Absolutely.
And the guys seemed like they didn't want to volunteer to do it. And I looked at the fact that I was in infantry. I know how those guys feel.
And you knew what light meant.
Right, and that was 2-hour pilots and 2-hour crew members that was on that aircraft that got shot down. And we trying to keep light out there to keep the enemy from getting them.
Oh man!
And I volunteered for it. And I was on day mission. I flew all day.
Sure.
I only been on the ground maybe 3-4 hours. Went back up that night and flew the rest of the night.
I remember helicopters used to throw those flares out.
I did that quite a bit. I used to love night missions. And so when I got to seniority and everything, I volunteered for all night missions.
On those, I always wanted to know, on those big canister, you know, the lightning things, do you pull a deal and throw it out?
It have a cable, like a grenade. It got a cable.
Yes.
And a pin in it.
Yes.
And when you get ready to throw it out, you pull that pin, throw it.
Just like a grenade.
Because it got a time and everything on it.
Oh, okay.
You set all of that before you leave the ground.
Okay.
And we had set like 55-gallon drums, had them cut in half, one on each side of the aircraft, and we load them up with flares. And then you'll throw from one side to the other side till you run out.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and like I said,
And the helicopter's going in a pattern?
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. There were more than a few times that we opened an ambush patrol, and it was because of the illumination.
Right.
That we didn't get.
That you found them before they found you.
We didn't get run over.
Did you ever see the helicopter flying at night and had the big bright light shining on the ground?
Yes.
I did that.
what did we call that? Was that an arc light or something? Or what did we call that?
You remember the old
I know
big tube
they
TV?
called it something.
Nighthawk mission.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was like a, you remember those old TVs, big round screen, big tube,
Yes,
like that?
yes.
It was something, it reminded you of those old TVs, the way that was made.
Right.
And, man, that thing had some voltage to it.
And were they able to?
Well, what we would do, I'm flying, I'm there, got the lights shining on the ground such. If I see movement, I'm gonna hold it on there.
Oh, okay.
They had one guy on there with a M14 with a high power scope on it. And when he saw the movement, he would fire. He had all tracers. He would fire down in it, and the gunships would come in. Where those tracers was hit,
I'll be
that's where
darned.
the
Very
gunships
clever.
were hit. Yeah.
Right. So okay. Well, by golly, this is, you know, I'm telling you, this has just been a pleasure.
Right.
So thank you for taking your time with us.
Right. Okay.
So,
It was a pleasure.
oh, believe me, my pleasure.